And I'm also recording in Skype.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So where were we? Or
Uh,
where would we like to return to the conversation? Maybe that's the better
well, we
question.
had. I don't know if it went out, but we were talking about Prince and the all the music that he left. I don't know if that's
hmm
necessary to go back to.
Well, the prince that you prefer is the one who's making music every week. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We agree. Everybody likes Prince to the degree of how much we're going to observe how much he stowed
Mm-hmm.
until somebody tells us, and we either believe him or we don't. Did he? I don't think you. I don't think there was that much. I
No.
think I'm right, and there was less than that. And you say that with the person, whoever it is, and
Right.
you get exactly how many records you actually expect it to be. I was right, you were wrong. Doesn't matter. You get your version. There's no point in teasing anybody about theirs. Oh, you were wrong. Uh, you chose to be in the one where you were right. Doesn't matter. If you choose you're willing to lose a couple times, you'll be a loser. If you expect to lose a couple times, then expect to lose as much as you believe you're gonna lose. That's it.
Uh,
So no need to tease anybody about the reality you're not on. You know, if
right.
it was all about winning, hey, we're all winners if I win because my vibration goes up and everybody else who I believe can keep up with my I'm excited, come up with me. So if I'm an annoying little kid, I'm a winner, like, I hate you, right?
Uh,
But if they're like, oh my God, I feel so amazing. Doesn't everybody feel so amazing? Like, something got won. I just feel so privileged. It was me, you know? Yet you chose me. Oh my God, I can't believe I won. There's that kind of win, and everybody's like, I love that. And all those people came with you. Everybody who thought the way you did it was awesome or whatever it is comes with you.
right.
So those people carry up. So that's the game, isn't it? It's the game of what am I seeing and can I sort of be myself despite it?
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's the
Exactly.
game. And mind you, you'll look back and you'll say, very, very, very simple, Julian. I like that. That's the game. Because when you look back at your life to a certain point, you say, oh boy, it's just a real simple missing ingredient. Just one little missing ingredient. It's like that key, right? That tells you, oh, it's not really this at all. It's really like this. And so that's what I'm trying to share tonight. Is a little bit of this key that's sunk into me. And it was basically I've been waiting a really long time to point it out. Apparently, I was not ready to say what the key was because this key is the key to the world that I'm going to live in. And it sounds bad that if somebody doesn't agree with my key, that, hey, you and I don't really have anything to do with anymore. So in some way, I was afraid because I could lose people that liked me not saying what the key was, right? So in some ways, I know that I'll be excluding some people when I say what the key is to get everybody that I know ascended, including me. Is you need to remember the high experience. Remember that and strive to living that in your daily lives so that you focus on that occurring. If you practice and get high for the recreational purpose and you become a habit, then you're using that to substitute being able to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be able to do it yourself. You'll be a slave to a whole nother dimension. And when we observe people like that, that's the sign to us to say, don't do that. Oh no, don't do that. Right? I mean, dying is a pure element. If they're going to die, no one else could have made it more true than us as the observer. So, dying is the lowest point of existence for our 3D observable experience. Now we could expand. We expand, we start seeing more, we're more accepting, we're more allowing as people. We'll be able to expand. We'll be able to see more that we can reflect on. And more that we can reflect on becomes more life opportunities to explore things. So, because we're creators, that's what we're doing. We're creating something, we're just creating what we can explore. So the more that we can create, that we explore, that we're going to get there. But the high experience may have been introduced by a psychedelic drug. And it may have been introduced by illegal substances. And the ascension point that I become so elated that everything is going so well, I can go total spastic Julien to some people, or total loving Julien, depending on who you are relative to me, right? And what I think you'll do. Will you flip out when I'm, another kind of Julien? I don't know. We're close, if that's it. If you're not close anymore, then you take what you got and said, well, I'm still amazing. Julien still helped me get to somewhere, right? So, in my case, all I need to know is, where am I really going? I mean, I'm a creator. What is my world? You think about it. You're like, I got a lot of decisions to make here. Where do I put the carpet and the chairs? It's a little bit more than that when you're creating all of reality and aware that you're able to really just do it. Not even practicing it. You're already practicing it. But when you realize the key, that is the end game. And that's all you want to find out is what that end game is. How do I create? Okay? You don't need to be enlightened. You can actually do it in a scientific way. It doesn't matter. How do I create? You will ascend. And how do you create besides believing that you're already creating? You believe you're already creating. When you believe it, you got access to doing it. You can change your mind like a lucid dream.
Right.
You heard of lucid dreaming. You're dreaming and then you wake up in the dream like, oh, I can do whatever I want. Everything's like Play-Doh. When you have your own lucid dream of this dream, oh yeah, it changes fast. Things start moving. They really do. And everybody has access some way to that high experience. That's that high vibration of if you were to pop like a firecracker into all potential realized, how would you do it? Well, you'd have a high moment. And then you'd come back. And the only reason why you'd come back is saying, well, I can't just live like that. I can't just
yeah, right.
I just can't live like that, right? This doesn't work. You can't do that. So you get high again. And you try to play it off. You're like, I'm good. Everything's good. I'm high as a kite. And everybody's perfect and beautiful the way they are. But man, am I fidgety. And, why do I got to eat, dinner at 2 a.m? Why is that? Like, what kind of weird world is that? So you say, I don't know. I don't think when I get high, it's a very good idea still. No, I'm not ready for that. So some people, they will get high over and over and over and over again. I don't care if it's acid, weed, any of the more interesting stuff that's out there. But if you take it a million times, it's basically like, what's up, buddy? Haven't you figured it out? Haven't you figured out where you're really supposed to be? You're supposed to be like what you are on that pill or whatever it is, that ayahuasca. You're supposed to be like that. That is your dream. Do everything you can to get there. Do everything you can. Focus on it. Pretend it's actually happening. So, my world, everybody who's coming with me is going to be somebody who gets similar like my kind of high. And I know it's pretty easy to get that kind of high personally when you're trying weed in an edible form, because it lasts longer. Okay? That's just about anybody I know who can get high off that is going to be in my world. So what's my game plan? When is everybody going to basically pop into that? When is everybody going to be able to get high? The day I believe everybody is allowed to and is willing and interested. See, the thing is, when I'm in that world, my world, I'm talking about mine, it's personal. Please consider your own much more important than what I'm telling you. But as an example of a world, the ascension point is when not only marijuana is legalized, but prescribed everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? People want to say, when is the ascension point? That's the one. I will believe that everybody, whether they are practicing being able to be high like me or not, they can have weed all the time and I won't be bothered by the fact that they're not there. Do you see that?
Yes.
That's why weed, for me, is the most believable. Acid, too. I think people with acid are already with me. Because I see stuff like I'm on acid. I see stuff I'm not supposed to see, right? I turned that off. I remember turning off ghosts. It was a good thing long, long ago. I didn't bring it back when I started seeing energy. I said, oh, I thought about it for a second. You know, I just saw fairies. Am I going to see spirits? Oh, spirits sound good. What about creepy spirits? No, like ghosts? No. I don't want to see that. And I decided, no, not going to see ghosts or spirits that are not nice. And I did see a nice spirit, which was nice, but it didn't matter. Just, I want to see beings like this. Not prepared for it. Am I prepared to it now? Well, if I were to smoke weed or whatever, take a weed ingestible, I'd have my own opinion. I'd have the opinion of, sure, spirits, you guys, you're in. I can see you guys now. And then, can see spirits and all that. But, so, if anybody wants to know when the ascension point is, it's right around that. It's not financial freedom like I thought it was at one point. So the ascension point has nothing to do with financial freedom. Financial freedom just affords you an abundance where what is the most natural thing that I've designed into my reality long ago, somehow, I don't know where, lifetimes of probably designing this, I said weed was going to be it. That was my key plug out. You know, I have a higher self that's been in other worlds, much higher than this, other vibrations. I said to myself, well, I get to return to this wonderful high vibration, lovey-dovey world after you've gone deep diving and basically plucked out another way that I can come back and make sure I can come back. So I can explore extreme negativity. Oh, I do the feeling where I feel like I'm high. I'm back. I'm okay. That's all good. You're a little shooken up. You'll be fine. So these kinds of tools... they're tools, but they're only tools to the degree that you need them. My intention, as always, is to be as high as I can, as often as I can in my everyday life. Now, it doesn't always work, as everyone knows. You can't just be high all the time. Talk to, potheads or something about that. See how balanced their life is. Well, I don't think they're in balance, so therefore I can't always be high. I need to find a way where those fellows have got it made and they figured it out, and being high supersedes everything. I need to believe that. And I believe it more and more all the time. That if I was high, like on a weed-like experience, that everything would be okay, but I don't believe that yet. That's why I'm, talking with everybody here who does not see it. Because... if you guys knew about this, then surely you'd help me figure out why everybody who's high, if I haven't figured out yet, why everybody who gets high is a good thing and that there's everything wrong with it. So that's the puzzle piece in my defense that I don't look at. I don't look at the idea of why people should have ever gotten in trouble or why there's ever any rules for getting high. I don't want to know why it was ever suppressed. and why maybe it wasn't so known in the past. I don't want to know the reason. I just want to know what kind of experience I'm looking forward to. And in this world, yeah, I'd like other people who like to have the same experience as me, or to the degree that they're interesting when I'm in a high experience. If they're interesting in the place that I'm a high experience, then yes, I don't really care how temporary the experience is. I'm good with a handshake and see, gone 5 minutes later. If you want to get high for 5 minutes, fine. We have the conversation, it's fine. But in many ways, do I have a problem with people that I come across who are not high? No, actually. They have a great deal to offer me as to my vibration. As in, still want to see some things that are not so high. I'll take that with me somehow. If I can find the beauty in it, yeah, I could have it in my high world. I can have in that world where everything is perfect and beautiful, exactly the way I would design it if I were the designer and know that I was the creator. Now, you know why substances also is a dependency? Because it means you can't hold the vibration on your own. And some people, if they knew that, they'd say, oh, I'm an idiot. I can't hold on to vibration on my own. So that's why it's not talked about. It's not talked about. Look, just because you can't stay high doesn't mean you're adult or you're stubborn or an idiot or something. Just because you can't hold on to that, that's okay. Use it if you're comfortable. But don't do it if you're not uncomfortable, because then I'll see what's uncomfortable about it, and then I'll think it's uncomfortable, and then we'll both be thinking it's uncomfortable, and just be uncomfortable all around. So, don't tell me. Just, if the substance works with you, that's it. Not interested in all the other details. Not going back to a place where those things matter. If they matter, then the fundamentals of my ability to create would be a whole lot less effective, like kryptonite every once in a while. Holy crap, all I had to say was, I don't believe you, and my powers don't work. I've got the power of lightning in my hands, and I can, destroy you, Neil. I don't believe you. I'm foiled. Can you imagine? If you create a world with loopholes like that, it'd suck. So you don't create loopholes. Choosing your reality. And you're always following a wavelength, which is where we started. If you look at the wavelength, there is a point that from a two-dimensional way of looking at it, looks like things are either going to go back to where they came from, like it's going to go back like an oval, a full oval, or it's going to go into another projection going forward, like an oval next to it, like a U, like a W, right? Is it going to go like a W, sort of zigzag, or is it going to go back around? Do you know the shape of the heart? The heart, right?
Right.
Everybody knows that. I'm making the shape with my hands. That is a trajectory toroidal symbol. Okay? So when you put a heart on its side and you look at against like those graphs that make like vibrational lines, like the lie detectors and stuff, they're reading how much, the vibration, the oscillation image. So when you see that, it doesn't start going backwards, does it? Like when you look at the oscillation on like a chart, it's going up and down. The chart doesn't just start recoiling and going backwards, and you get, weird stuff like that. But so what you have is you have a heart where a vibration's coming in real steep, really, really steep. You can't see my hands. But then it comes back around. No vibration comes back around unless it has a really good reason. In order to come back, to draw more of what they missed because they came in so hot. They came in so hot and so beautiful and so wonderful and so high that they missed some, okay? They missed everything that they could be excited about. They came in so hot. Call them the hippies of the 60s and 70s. My parents or something like that. They came in so hot that they want a second pass at getting awesome things into their high future. So, the hippies had children. Or the hippies kept living their hippie lives and kept processing the same things. People who are high in that place. High. I mean, how many times have you ever heard of space, the planes are space hippies? They kind of are. I mean, what am I going to say? What am I supposed to say? So I say, no, they're very... Nope. They like fun. They'll put fun before other things all the time. Hey, why don't you come to my party? I found a better party. Oh, that's cool. Why don't you invite me to that one? Because you're hosting yours. Oh, all right. Yeah, that's cool. That's Pleiadian talk. Okay? For living high. But the point is, and really the point is, if you haven't had an experiment, then you'll want to figure out why you're not comfortable having an experiment, even if it's a substance experiment. You want to ask yourself that question. Why haven't I? Why have I, postponed something out of the ordinary? Because it's illegal, figure that out. Go for that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's becoming legal, like the substance was for me, when I had the high experience that I had, several of them, if I hadn't had those, I would not have really sort of seen how far to reach. I wouldn't have had that desire to go all the way and say, you know what, since I'm a creator, I now know what my world's going to look like. I now know what it's going to feel like when I want insight, My guides are instantaneously downloading and giving me the thought and words. Spontaneous speaking became real. Don knows this too. I never channeled the sun until after a big moment I had in September. It was like, why have I not channeled the sun? Why have I not channeled Gaia? He's like, it's almost a disgrace because they're kind of like my best friends. Almost like a disgrace, Almost like a disgrace. But I redeemed myself. I did die in channel.
No, but even when you started doing this work, you were dead set against channeling.
Yeah.
You did not want to go there. You viewed that as losing control. That something could come through you that was not part of you.
Yeah, it was, and I actually know why that occurred. I can explain it right now. When I was younger, I had a fascination for hypnosis. Right? Mm-hmm. I can control my brothers. Right? So I'd read at the library and stuff. I thought hypnosis was the greatest goddamn thing ever. Right? So I was like going to learn hypnotizing people at 11 years old or something. But it went real bad. Like, it turned on me. And I appeared to be a very evil person when not in my favor. Like, the results didn't work out good. Right? So, family turns on me for being, you know what, that's it. I'm now officially branded, and you can ask them today, the Julien the Manipulator.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I couldn't get into their minds anymore because they pushed me out. I said, oh no, you do not come near me. I know you. You're a manipulator. I have a defense against you. People like you who are very powerful creators. So I found out later, and I returned to college and that. I was like, oh, maybe I get to hypnotism sort of stuff again, Maybe there's something like a course or whatever. Yeah, and there was a club, and basically they tried hypnotizing me. Everyone else, they were getting successes at hypnotizing the other people in the club. Never a success with me. And I said, hypnotizing, I guess. I realized I actually manifested a defense.
Right.
subconsciously, my vibration. I made it the choice. I could, body, when you hear you're going to hypnotize, resist it or something. Do not play ball. Now, it had a side effect. It had a side effect that I didn't know was a very important side effect for me. And that was my meditations. I can't visualize anything. I can't visualize anything when I meditate. How am I supposed to have good meditation? Everybody's seeing things. Oh, I don't see crap. I'm so frustrated. So, problem. Now hypnotizing is, annoying that it doesn't work. So, what happens? Do a little bit of channeling and it comes back. I know how to hypnotize myself into any state I'd prefer and just sort of go there.
Well, and then I remember in one of our sessions when you channeled the first time that I saw it with Janua from the council.
Yeah.
Because I could tell it was not your voice, it was not your speech pattern, it was totally not anything about you.
Yeah.
And that was I think the first time that I noticed that you were channeling.
Indeed.
But
and
then
you notice also just by a side example that I never channeled him again.
Right. Yeah. He hasn't come through again.
That's right.
Well, he was hard work for you.
He was, and so I basically said, sorry, don't get excited. I told him backstage while dreaming, sorry, man, not doing that.
Yeah. No, but I think that opened up the.
Oh, it opened up a lot of things.
Because it was not long after that you did start channeling Leonara and channeling the sun and channeling Gaia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So channeling is now just a form of self-hypnosis, and I can basically self-hypnotize myself to see energy, to read people and their emotional vibrational fields, and help explain what I see in the vibrational fields when I do sessions. I can hypnotize myself to be in this place right now, talking with everybody. Am I like this when I'm shouting at people, when I'm killing people in video games? No, I'm not in the same mood. I'm in a different kind of hypnosis. But it's a mindset that I've practiced to the degree I own it. It's mine.
Right.
I can be here. And everything else changes as a result. Everything else is now a different world. Have you ever noticed somebody's like a different person when they're drunk, when they're not? I mean, of course, right? But when you're drunk and you do it, doesn't everybody kind of change with you? Doesn't everybody else kind of get weird and goofy? Almost like we invite it from them by being goofy and drunk ourselves. We do. Be yourself. Be very inviting to everybody who isn't already like you to be like you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, be you. And if it's goofy, then that's what you gotta be.
So is that the message for tonight?
That is the message.
Okay.
Are you a drinker? Are you a smoker? Are you someone that shoots it up? Are you a pill taker? You'll know where you're trying to get.
And yet,
by trying those.
Is that state attainable without a substance?
You need to just try to remember everything about it. It's like ayahuasca. Right. They say it's the ultimate eye awakening experience. Oh, yeah. And some people get totally screwed when they can't figure it out.
Right.
They destroy themselves in utter agony that they cannot handle what they're seeing, and they just don't understand it because they know, they feel it, they were there. It was the nirvana, and they can't recreate it unless they keep taking ayahuasca. But there's strict rules to ayahuasca, so you can't just... it's like the permission slip to get on ayahuasca is a really long one.
Right.
Right? But, yeah, of course. Ayahuasca, great. It's even more high than probably your regular substances. But the point is, you'll be guided to one. You were guided to one. The very first substance you came across that was put across your lap and was given you an offer was your very first one, which means it's actually your highest preference. That's the one that includes the state of mind that was your key to how you should feel all the time, and that you should strive, get rid of everything that makes you feel bad about being like that. I don't mean get rid of, I mean like find a way through that. And you'll have your everyday nirvana, buddy.
Uh-huh.
All right? That's your path, man. It's not even getting spiritual, is it?
No.
You don't have to be ascended, intelligent, quantum, who knows it. You don't have to be any of that.
Well, now, like Omar says here, that he knows people who do other drugs for that reason, but some do it just for silly fun. And there's a difference in intent if you're just doing it for silly fun, or if you're doing it for an expansive experience.
It doesn't matter. You have the choice. You can witness both sides of the story. You can witness it as malintent and learn something, and you can witness somebody else's as good intent and learn something. You're still choosing, is it going to be bad for me? Because I see a lot of people having it, and they're bad people. I don't think I want to do that because that's like a bad people kind of thing. And intuitively, you'll steer clear of that. But anybody, think of it like the great, wonderful new cultures that await us. When we know how to create, we can choose exactly what's in and what's out, right? Now, there's lots of states in mind that are not high, mind you. They're not high. They're just a completely different state of mind, okay? But the ones that get you high lead you in the direction of learning how to step outside the illusion and create. Mushrooms, whatever, it doesn't matter. They'll show you what you want to be. Hit the record button and remember everything, because when you lower from being high, it takes a lot of effort to bring it in. It's like trying to remember a dream. Okay? High experiences functionally are like moving faster than your brain is used to saving the information. So you got to try to repeat it. Okay, I said this, I said this, I said this. If you can, get yourself on video or something.
Thank God for the Akashic Records.
Thank God for the Akashic Records. But if you're going to get high and you've never done it before, I highly recommend keep a video journal to help you remember what it's like. Okay? Remind yourself, as if you're telling an innocent version of you that's forgotten what you're missing or something. Okay? But mind you, if you've taken a drug over and over and over again, it will decline its use, because it's saying, I thought you were going to get it that last time. You didn't say you could do this on your own. All right. Going to keep bringing us back. Okay, now this time when you have it, do you feel like you can attain this level on your own? No? Okay, next time. This time, do you feel... And it's like, experiment 6,433. I don't think this is going to work for you anymore, buddy. You're going to get what you expect, but not what we were sending this here for you. You're going to have to get a different drug or something.
Right.
To change your mind. And it could be a dark night of the soul. That's what most people like to talk about, the dark night of the soul. But that's medieval. That's actually not necessary. That's like, you know what? You'll send if you give me your left hand. I'll take it. I'm going. I think I got a couple more things to try out.
Yeah.
So, dark night of the soul is the only way to say it. That's a medieval way of doing it, okay? You don't have to explore hell. Before you say, okay, I was in hell, I was scared out of my wits, everything was driving me nuts, putting me on edge. Whatever all that isn't, that's my paradise. Whatever that isn't, I'll figure it out. The opposite of every single thing that scared the crap out of me, that's my heaven. I'm going to go there. Dark night of soul, boom, you're good. You're in a completely new world of your choosing and freedom.
Right.
Because you realize, hey, you know what? Even though I specified in specificity which was all my hated things and I want their exact opposite, and that was like the official definition, the exact opposite, right? If you got that, you missed all the context in between, right?
Right.
Like, what if this and what if that and what if that? So everything looks sort of like weird when you go through that burst and you didn't like prepare for all the exchanges that might happen on that subject, like between people. So anyhow, the element of getting high, I don't want to say it's we, but we'll just say we have more in common if you know the kind of high you're getting from that leads you to certain parts of who you are. So every high is actually different from person to person. So I don't mean specifically getting high is the point. It's the point is to find out what you're like when you're like that. What your preferences are. Discovering, oh my God, I really like these things. Maybe, some people, they get higher, like, oh, the pretty flowers. You've probably seen that, right? The flower child is like, oh, the flowers are so beautiful, whatever. You know what she's doing? A lot of people just say, oh my God, I'm not getting high like a kite like that. Oh my God, that's totally nuts. That's gnarly, or whatever they said back then. Because they don't realize that what she's doing is she's seeing energy.
Yeah.
Okay? She was seeing energy. And so now seeing energy has been a faux pas until I came along and made it popular again, perhaps. The point is, you see what you see, and the hippies popped off into dimensions and of their own making, because we only ever are. We only ever are making our own dimensions. There are no rules to what you're supposed to do and not do as God. Would you give God any rules? What you can do and not do? Maybe some as a starting guide to make sure he draws within the lines. Maybe that's it. Do whatever he's going to do. That's my opinion. So where I'm going, I'm afraid to say people get to do a whole lot of whatever they want to do in that world. But dissing each other, not being emotionally connected, that's not there. Being emotionally connected keeps you a degree of responsible when working with our fellow humans, because they're very fragile mirrors of ourselves. We're very fragile. They're fragile. If we break, the image shatters. You don't keep that relationship like it was. It's something else now. Okay? So care for your mirrors. It's you, goddamn. I just want to say it's you. Why would you? Like, I don't know, hug a mirror. It's awkward. It's like hugging a mannequin. You don't know if it's alive. It's alive because that's how you hug yourself. You need like 2 more arms. You gotta do something. Pretend you're hug. That's how you do it. That's the mirror. Cherish your mirrors. They're showing you so much, and you know that the mirror that you have in front of you, like a negative mirror, for instance, is complete. Because you can smile into it. And it's just a smile. You don't feel the emotion. It's over. But if you smile and look at it and say, oh, hooray for me, hooray for me, it'll last you about a day, then you'll get bored of saying that. And then it'll just be, yeah, I beat that. I got over that. And it's no biggie now. It's not a mirror anymore. It's an awareness that it's me, and I'm in full control over it now. That's the point. But the other secondary choice, it turns out, Don, the second point, everybody who is familiar with the experience of channeling or hypnosis also gets to come into my world. I'm saying it like I'm in charge of it, but really... I'm being honest that it is anybody want to look around. I basically said it was going to be this. This was going to work. I said it was going to work, so it's going to work. So you can trust it. You can trust channeling, and you can trust hypnotizing. The only times you may not trust hypnotizing or channeling is if you're not discerning as to what you observe. Which means you need to find a way of integrating it.
Right.
If you can't integrate it, just say, no, that's not for me. But if you are not ready to integrate it, then you're really just spinning your tires. And Julien had a good idea, and it doesn't work for you because it wasn't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
You had a more Christmas tree-filled world in your idea of everything works out really, really well. Okay? You have an idea of the world that works out really, really well. Hypnotizing experiences and channeling isn't in it. That's okay. You and I'm not going to call you. You know, that's it.
Right.
We're done. Not interested. You know, like a relationship you're done with. No, we're bored. You know, we'll go see other new people.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I'll cheat
Right.
if I'm bored. If you're not bored, well then you should be, because I'm bored. You know, that happens. But hopefully you're picking somebody that gets bored at around the same time you are. If bored is even on the table. Maybe you're never supposed to not get bored. Maybe you're supposed to, be sexually reproducing until your 90s. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think I've said enough, and probably still not enough.
Yeah, I think we could really explore this a lot.
Yeah.
A lot more.
But just so you can see, since this last weekend, what it's kind of done for me to hold this back.
Yeah, you were bursting at the seams.
And so the last anchoring thing that I was supposed to go through was what we went through on Tuesday. There's, a mouthful there.
Right.
Of intense stuff, right? I had to get through that. That was like my inverse to my outverse.
Mm-hmm.
That was my balance equilibrium. Oh my God, a great dream. Oh my God. That was a tough show. That was a lot of things I was not, signing up for, I felt like.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. Hey, you wanted to wake up? Slap in the face. You did something wrong. But wait, I thought I asked for something that was going to wake me up. This is going to wake you up, you piece of crap. This is how you wake up, Get your ass out of bed. Start, chopping wood and looking busy, because that's what you do in your world, all right? You always want to be busy. Get your ass busy,
Right.
If you always want to be lazy and sit on the couch playing video games, maybe it's a weed. I don't know. Who knows? The point is, you're kind of the decider, the main deciding factor in that other world. And if you're afraid of that, everything I've told you doesn't matter. Afraid means you're not ready.
How much of a role is being played in each individual as far as raising their vibration just by being a part of this whole thing and being on the planet at this time? I mean, I know it's there's an individual need
reality
to
and consensus reality.
Yeah, so there's the consensus reality, and Gaia's vibration is raising, and we're participating in that, and how much more is each individual going to have to do on an individual basis in order to stay with?
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for everybody to get a high experience?
Well, there we go.
That's it. That's the Ascension date. So it's probably the day that I think, and I believe, everybody's handing each other joints,
right?
Acid pills, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is basically trying stuff to figure out who the hell they want to be, and what they're going to give a lot of attention to, because because it excites them. Because it excites them. That's because that's part of what's inside them to come through. It's exciting because I want that to come. I want that to come through. I want that to be real. I want that to be the experience that I love seeing here. Now, if you want to feel like hell, then you'll feel like hell. So in exchange, often there's these downers, right, that come with substance stuff. Of course. You know what the price of that is? Not being able to integrate everything. You able to integrate everything? No downer. Basically, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to eat this 6-course meal. Like, ooh, you know what? I lost like 5 of the courses. All right. It's uncomfortable. I got one of the courses. Whatever. I liked it. Let me do it again. Let's do that again. Let's go get high. Oh God, I feel uncomfortable. Or alcohol, or whatever it is. Whatever the gunk is that you're flushing out lets you know you're not integrating that much.
Right.
Okay? Which means maybe pick something else. I don't know. Pick meditation. It works. Worked for so many people in my life.
Yeah.
But not for me because I was afraid of hypnosis. Doesn't that suck?
Well, no, because that early experience set you on the path that you've been following.
Yeah. No. I mean, it has a lot of benefits that
right.
got kicked up with that too. Of course.
Sure.
I mean, everything. I want to say another thing. Regarding timelines, I just people want to change timelines and stuff, but really want to change the perception that you're changing timelines. You actually kind of are only ever on one timeline, and you want an explosion. You want that timeline to change. You want something to give, whatever. You got to practice, all that. You got to sort of hypnotize yourself into realizing that's it. You know how television can be hypnotizing? That's a clue, okay?
Right.
It works. People believe this stuff. And when you found out, that there was no real Mickey Mouse, it was like, what the hell what's wrong with me? I could have sworn he was real.
Yeah,
I could have sworn he was real. And that's what happened. That's what people did to Santa Claus.
I know, but that's why I'm excited.
And so when I was like, wait a second, he's real?
Yeah.
Now, wait a second. Why is he real? Let me ask you that question. Why is he real, and why is Julien saying that? Okay? The same thing. Why is Julien saying that? It's because why do I think that's real? Was the real question.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is, I only met him through channeling and being high.
Right.
Not substance high, but the high vibration that I get to.
Yes.
And in that place, Santa Claus belonged.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked to me. And he was real. As real as he needed to be. Everybody who doesn't believe channeling, sorry. It's not going to help you much.
No.
You're probably going to have to go the substance direction. Or something. If channeling doesn't spice up your life enough, then you probably have to go into the substances departments.
Well, no, I'd love our Christmas special to be an interview with Nick. So.
Oh gosh, we got a lot of adventures before then.
Oh, I know. We got a lot more. But change of pace.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've taken up enough of everyone's time. Thank you for coming to our special today. Thank you, Don, for holding me back when I need to be held back. Help me get centered. Like, you're going off tangents here. There's a lot more to talk about vibration, and I will do a second special. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to bring diagrams. I'm going to bring pictures, even if I have to draw it and hold it up on a sheet of paper. I'm getting diagrams to help people get this level of visualizing vibration and reality in the same way. And so you can really dig deep. So maybe this is really just part one, and you probably didn't get as far as you wanted in your education on vibration. But I hope I've sort of let you know just how flippin' amazing it is to be able to work with it consciously and understand it this way.
Well, I think no matter what, everybody got a clear indication of the joy that you're getting out of this. So, so that in and of itself is
thank you.
Worth the
mind
time
you, the
and
Pleiadians wanted to make sure I shared one little point. So this is my last little hiccup. So they said, we tried to tell you, you just had to figure out what vibrations were a long, long time ago. You remember when you did your science projects? And in grade 6, you did a science project on sound. And then the next year, you did a science project on light. Are they not both like study of vibration? Hello?
Yeah.
Did that click? Hello? So, I'm going through my junk from, my childhood one day. I'm like, Oh my God, look at this. This is my side. Like, oh my God, they're both of that vibration. I think I'm going to start thinking about what that really means.
Well,
that's
that's
one of
okay,
my
because
keys.
when Hazel's doing her science projects in 5th and 6th grade, along with doing weed, then she will be so much further along than you were back then.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, guys, go figure out how to make brownies. And if everybody wants to be all activist about this, get it legalized, I suppose,
Right.
But I'm not into the other stuff so much. Acid, I think, is good too. I would go with acid, and I would go with mushrooms and ayahuasca. So, my highest preferred people who are preferring weed first. Second highest preference is ayahuasca. Third highest preference would be acid, and then fourth would probably be whatever that other one I said.
I didn't catch
so,
it.
The point is, have fun with this information.
Mm-hmm.
If it's rocking you to the core, maybe you need it. If it's getting you relaxed and everything, maybe that's a key for you. So that's one of my golden keys, buddies. And,
Okay, well,
you'll know that if you see me getting higher, you're gonna see more of my explosion happen to yours.
mm-hmm.
It's a bit more complicated to think of it that way. But if I'm getting more high, it means that's how you all want to know when the end date is. Watch me get super high, like more regularly than usual. Like me today, Pleiadians. I was just so excited. I came out like a super loud whoopee cushion or something. It was weird, but but it's only going to work for you to the degree that that's your thing. Maybe you're 2 parts weed, 1 part acid. It doesn't
mm-hmm.
whatever it takes for you to be able to collect your thoughts on what you're getting out of the high experience. You want to go fast? The whole world can pick this up if we educate people about it.
Right.
I'm not saying distribution. I'm saying education.
Mm-hmm.
People can attract their own problems with how to get it. Don't let
Right.
that be yours.
And well, that's it. And
right?
and you see that movement happening throughout the United States now. So
yeah. So, if you feel you're ever going to get in trouble, don't do it that way.
mm-hmm.
Just don't do it that way. That's the line that I would say don't cross. If you think you can get in trouble for doing it, and you believe, you're basically running the risk of, are you in control of that, rocket ship of possibilities? Can you hold your mind together and actually get something out of it? Rather than fearing, I want this, but I could never have it sort of attitude. If that's all you're having, then, you step back. But it's time to go, fellows.
Okay.
Look for part 2. I can't assure you it's going to be next Thursday. I can't,
right.
So that's still up in the air when we might schedule that. But thank you everyone for joining us, especially on, short notice for some people.
Short notice, yeah.
Yeah, and good night.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.